time and attention to these issues. As you know, I've testified before you in the past regarding issues with the West End SILPA. I reside in the Upland District, but Upland Unified is also a member of the West End SILPA, who seems to control the direction of special education in this area. And it is a detriment to our children. I think what's missing in special ed is that elected officials, such as yourselves, do not get intimately involved in the special ed decisions. Instead, the authority is delegated to the superintendent under the local plan. And our children are actually not having access to their elected officials. General education children have that access. I actually wrote a bill, SB 701, Correa, a couple of years ago that would have addressed this problem and changed the governing structure of the SILPAs. But of course, all the SILPAs opposed it because they want to preserve the status quo. I would like to echo the comments made by Mr. Atwood that we can no longer afford to do that. And I am appalled. I was really appalled to hear of the situation that Chris, the parent, is facing. But I'm not surprised because these are the intimidation tactics that are well familiar to the West End SILPA. This is what they go to training on with their lawyers. They hold trainings at $130 a piece of our taxpayer dollars for their special ed directors and their staff, and they don't allow parents in because I paid my $130, and when they saw I was a parent, I was stopped at the door of a public building and told that it was only accessible to administrators. And at the time I was running for county board, so I was a board candidate, and they wouldn't even allow candidates in the building, a public building being funded by public dollars. So our motto is education, not litigation, but that's not how SILPA operates. I also had to litigate to get my daughter into Lindenwood Bell, and she made great gains. I pulled her out of the Upland District because in kindergarten, the Upland Unified District, with the direction of the West End SILPA, of course, refused to develop reading goals for her because they said due to her disability, she would never be able to read. But lo and behold, 6 weeks at Lindenwood Bell, she improved 3 grade levels in 6 weeks. And she went up to grade level in 3rd grade. This program works. The SILPA knows it works, but it is a well-kept secret because it costs money. So they'd rather spend money in litigation. We recently did a Public Records Act request from the County Superintendent of Schools. The litigation cost for County Superintendent is about $1 million per year. The West End SILPA, in their pot of money called the X pot, has about another $1 million a year, just in litigation cost. In some cases, the amount that the parent is asking for in services is $2,000 of speech and language services, and the SILPA spending $30,000 in attorney fees. It is completely ridiculous, but it is about preserving the status quo. It is about denying that their program fails. And why aren't districts considering the Lindenwood Bell methodology? They have schools programs. They don't have to do one-on-one. You can teach these kids to read and give them a better future. I spoke with 2 families at a West End SILPA event, both with daughters that were 20 years old, families from different socioeconomic backgrounds. One was an English learner, did not speak English. The other one was a Caucasian family in this district. Both daughters, same story. 20 years old, completely illiterate. I went to the superintendent's council at the West End SILPA the next day, and I looked at all of them and I said, if you're educators, I'm assuming you went into this profession to help children. How do you sleep at night knowing that you are basically committing these children to a life of struggle because they can't function in society, and to a life of dependency? I couldn't live with that. So, like many parents who want better services for their kids, I too have had to litigate against West End SILPA just to get my child to read, and I am glad that I did. So I ask your board tonight to stop your special education director, who has a history of many parents that I know of intimidation and retaliation when the parent doesn't fall in line with her direction, and she just wants to be in control, and she doesn't work collaboratively with the parents, and she retaliates. It's a well-known fact. So I urge you to take these comments seriously, and I urge you to take ownership of these kids in special education,
Our
because
kids.
they're also your kids
Our
in the
kids.
district. Thank you.
Thank you.